been acting like this because I can't take these shutdowns anymore, and I'm scared what it's doing to me.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 surprisingly touching moments from South Park.
I wasn't confused until other people started telling me I was.
For this list, we're looking at instances where laughs, gasps, and cringes took a back seat, allowing this animated series to show its sweet side. Which South Park moment touched you in unexpected places? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Riding Off into the Sunset. This episode might have ignited controversy over its depiction of a bleeding Virgin Mary statue, but it builds to a poignant exchange between father and son. Of course, in Randy and Stan's dynamic, the son is the one who does most of the parenting.
No, Stan, you don't understand. I have a disease. Daddy's very sick.
Stan helps guide his father to change his relationship with alcohol, in part by sharing his karate teacher's wise words.
All or nothing is easy, but learning to drink a little bit, responsibly, that's a discipline.
We close with an inspiring image of Randy carrying Stan with a promising future on the horizon. Stan may be the true adult in their relationship, but Randy can still be an affectionate patriarch. Number 19, Grandpa Marsh's fading memory. Grandpa Marsh is a character who's often played for laughs, which made it all the more surprising when he dropped his emotional monologue. The shopping network isn't just bleeding Marvin's wallet dry. They're taking advantage of an elderly man living with Alzheimer's disease. Stan comes to understand why his grandpa keeps buying useless junk as Marvin reminisces about his beloved border collie Patches.
When she died, I didn't let myself get too sad because I thought I'd always have the memory of her slobbering happy face.
Although Marvin has told Stan about Patches multiple times, he can no longer remember what her face looks like. Marvin's Alzheimer's also might explain why he calls Stan Billy, turning a running gag into a tragedy. The story ends on a heartwarming note, as Stan gives his grandpa a photo of Patches so he can always remember the dog.
Thank you, Billy. That means a lot.
Number 18, Stan gets Kyle a kidney. Kenny's well-being is rarely considered, and Cartman is, well, Cartman. Stan and Kyle thus serve as the main four's beating heart. It's a kidney that Kyle needs in this episode, however.
I'll give Kyle my kidney, even if it hurts a whole lot, I don't care.
That's very brave, Stan, but I've already checked my records and you and Kyle aren't a match for kidneys.
As the parents are sucked into a new age healing scam and Cartman refuses to give up one of his kidneys, Kyle appears to be on his deathbed. Stan never gives up on his friend, going to great lengths to get Kyle a life-saving surgery. Recovering at the hospital, Kyle thanks Stan for everything. No thanks is needed, as Stan doesn't want to leave this earth until Kyle does.
Hey, thanks for going through all that to save my life, Stan. Dude, you're my best friend. I don't want you to die until I do.
Stan can't say the same about Cartman, who he tricked into donating his kidney. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll shoot milk out of your nose. Number 17, Butters gets real with his grandma. If you thought Butters' parents were horrible, they are, but his grandma is even worse.
You got any more money, huh?
No, you took it all.
Why don't you do something about it?
Grandma Stotch torments Butters under everyone's noses, and not even Professor Chaos can stop her. Considering that Butters beats up Dr. Oz, he could probably summon the strength to overpower his grandma physically. Instead, Butters stands up to her with brutally honest words, which cut deeper.
But since then, all I have is just a kind of dark, empty feeling. And then I realized, that's how you must feel, all the time.
Butters tells his grandma that she's gonna die sooner than later, with nothing but an empty feeling inside. When she's gone, Butters will still be around and he won't be broken. We don't feel bad for Grandma, as this roast was the least that she deserved. Whether or not she softens during her time left, it's uplifting seeing Butters come out on top.
I'll come just to show you that I'm still alive and I'm still happy. And you'll die, being nothing but you.
Number 16, BARBRADY'S dog. Officer BARBRADY was among the most prominent side characters during the earlier seasons. As the years went by, BARBRADY essentially faded into the background, resurfacing in season 19.
You're from another time, BARBRADY, and the last thing that needs to go. Your gun and your badge.
Screwing up more than usual, he's forced to turn in his badge, gun, and sunglasses, going from Officer BARBRADY to just BARBRADY. Being a cop was BARBRADY's world. Heading home, we see how little he has left. His house is a mess, his wife is seemingly gone, and his poor dog Barney isn't in the best shape. It isn't long until BARBRADY and Barney are on the street, seeking a new purpose.
Here you go, girl. We'll just have to make do.
South Park doesn't always get much credit on an animation level, but seeing Barbrady cuddle with a withering Barney brings a tear to our eye. Number 15, Kyle accepts Ike as his brother. Misunderstanding what exactly a circumcision is, Kyle vows to protect Ike until he discovers that his brother was adopted.
All this time, look out for your little brother, Kyle. Take care of your little brother, Kyle. And he wasn't even really my little brother.
Feeling betrayed, Kyle denounces Ike and allows the bris to proceed. Although Kyle is hesitant, he can't deny his genuine connection to Ike as they look over old photos. When Ike comes in for a hug, Kyle realizes that family goes beyond biology.
You stay away from my little brother.
Kyle firmly defends Ike when the doctor shows up, but the brothers soon learn that circumcision isn't as ghastly as it sounds. Even then, Kyle is there to support Ike as the cutting commences.
Wow, dude, I guess having a bris isn't all that bad. Yeah, you know, I've learned something today. Family isn't about whose blood you have, it's about who you care about.
This wouldn't be the last time that Ike's Canadian heritage factored into a story, nor would it be the last time Kyle proved his brotherly love. Number 14, Tweek and Craig break up. 16 years after fighting each other, we didn't expect Tweek and Craig to become our OTP.
The art tries to show that all love is magical, like in Lisa Akimoto's piece, Tweek and Craig Forbidden Love.
When yaoi fan art of Tweek and Craig starts making the rounds, it's primarily treated as a source of humor. That's because there's no real romantic connection between them. Or is there? By the time they stage a breakup, we're surprisingly invested in Creek, as is all of South Park. Tweek and Craig also start to fill a void without one another. The breakup might have been fake, but the ensuing heartache is real.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
After receiving support from his father, Craig is given the confidence to take Tweek's hand, marking the beginning of a true relationship. Spirits are also lifted across the town in a heartwarming montage. Number 13, Kenny dies, and everyone cares. For 5 seasons, Kenny repeatedly died without much more than an "oh my god" from his friends. When Kenny gets a terminal disease, though, his loved ones express more grief than usual.
Hey, we were all just talking about how when you get better, we're all gonna go down to Stark's Pond again and go camping. Huh, Stan?
This is so uncharacteristic that it's almost funny, but the episode is ultimately more tragic as Stan struggles to accept Kenny's condition. When Stan is finally ready to show his friends support, it's too late.
I didn't get to see him. Kyle, I didn't get to say goodbye.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker set out to produce a super serious episode with no laughs. They felt the final product was more half and half. There are plenty of ridiculous moments, although the dramatic scenes are surprisingly authentic. Kenny would live to see another day, but for the first time, we feel the weight of his absence. Number 12, Butters saves Bradley. When Butters is sent to a conversion therapy camp, he doesn't entirely get what he's doing there.
Is that true, son? Are you feeling confused?
Yeah, I'm pretty confused, all right.
By the episode's conclusion, Butters still doesn't fully grasp the camp's purpose, but he comes to understand a few things. It's the counselors who are truly confused, and their actions are harming the boys, not saving them. Butters accepts himself, and his words resonate with Bradley.
Because if I'm bi-curious, and I'm somehow made from God, then I figure God must be a little bi-curious himself.
The counselors learn nothing, but the most important thing is that Bradley comes to see himself as normal. For anyone who's ever been told they were confused, this moment is sure to provide a source of comfort. Number 11, Stan wants his life back. Of all the topics that South Park has covered in its 20-plus years, the COVID-19 pandemic was perhaps the most universal.
Can everyone hear me okay?
No matter what you were going through during this period, everyone can relate to Stan as he bears his soul. Stan wants to partake in the activities that we took for granted before the world shut down. He tries to hide how much he's hurting inside, but after putting his life on hold for months, he just wants a return to normalcy.
I'm not any better, and I don't care any more than anyone else. And I did all this because I just want my life back.
Stan's words resonate with all of us, and they even evoke sympathy from Cartman, who makes a selfless decision for once. At a time when so many felt like they were alone, South Park assured us we weren't. Number 10, Kyle Saves Ike. From the pilot episode, Kyle and his adopted brother Ike have shared one of the show's most heartfelt dynamics.
Ready, Ike? Kick the baby!
Don't kick the baby.
In season 7, Kyle risks losing Ike forever when his birth parents take him back to Canada.
By Canadian law, I must award custody of the child to his birth parents.
Yes! Yes!
In one of his most personal speeches to date, Kyle tries appealing to the Canadian Prime Minister with a meaningful expression about what it truly means to be a family.
Family isn't about whose blood you have in you. Family is about the people who cared about you and took care of you. We're not the same blood, but I love my little brother.
As moved as we are, the Prime Minister doesn't feel the same way, and promptly blows Kenny up in a show of rage.
But why are you making such strange laws?
I said go!
Fortunately, the Prime Minister behind the curtain is revealed to be Saddam Hussein, and he's arrested on the spot. Kyle's words get through to Ike's birth parents, who realize there's more to family than just blood.
He doesn't belong here. He belongs with his family. Peter, would you like to go back to your home in Colorado?
Number 9. The Calves. Matt Stone and Trey Parker aren't exactly what you'd call vegetarians, but they do have a thing about eating baby cows.
Wait a minute. Veal is little baby cows?
Yepper!
Then why the hell do they call it veal?
While this episode isn't anti-meat, it does stand up for the poor calves, suggesting that nobody would eat veal if the product was called something more gruesome.
I did manage to get the FDA to officially change the word veal to tortured baby cow.
The creators further get their point across by making the calves as adorable as possible, giving them sad faces and puppy dog eyes. The boys decide to lock all the animals and themselves in their bedroom and go on a hunger strike. Though eventually thwarted by the FBI, their rescue effort is ultimately successful, as the new brand name drives down national demand for veal.
In the 24 hours since the word veal was officially changed to little tortured baby cow, the market has gone dry. Seems when people see little tortured baby cow on their menus, they don't feel like ordering.
Number 8. Cartman gives Kyle CPR. Following a hazardous encounter with Man-Bear Pig, Kyle is left pale-faced and lifeless on the ground. When everyone else in the room is ready to declare him dead, Cartman, of all people, refuses to give up on him. The situation moves from emotional to surprisingly intense as Cartman tearfully tries resuscitating Kyle.
God damn it, Kyle! You never walked away from anything in your life, now fight!
Honestly, a scene like this feels more like something you'd see on Lost or ER than South Park.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
As Kyle sputters and coughs back to life, Cartman is seen cradling his head as he provides him with an oxygen mask. Granted, Cartman is mainly concerned about his bet with Kyle, but nevertheless, we like to think that a part of Cartman can't handle the idea of life without Kyle. Number 7. Chef's Funeral. After South Park mocked Scientology in Season 9, Isaac Hayes' Scientology entourage made a statement that was reportedly on his behalf, requesting he be released from the show.
I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss Chef, and I don't know how to tell him.
Hayes' sudden exit left Stone and Parker feeling sad but slightly resentful, and they certainly show it in Season 10's opening episode. Chef is offed in the most gruesome, mean-spirited way imaginable. However, the episode doesn't disregard all the good work Hayes did over the years.
We're all here today because Chef has been such an important part of our lives.
Chef's Funeral is a genuine tearjerker, reuniting many of the people he touched, from Garrison to Elton John. And Kyle even delivers a bittersweet eulogy about all the laughs, songs, and wisdom Chef gave us, adding that we shouldn't blame him, but rather a certain, quote, fruity little club.
So you see, we shouldn't be mad at Chef for leaving us. We should be mad at that fruity little club for scrambling his brains.
Number 6. Kenny gives his sister a toy. When Kenny's little sister Karen popped up as a background character in Season 9, we didn't expect much to come from her. In more recent years, however, Karen has played a role in some of the show's most tender moments, adding new layers to Kenny's character in the process.
You are going to be okay, Karen. You have to keep believing that.
Why did my mommy and daddy go to jail?
Sometimes people do stupid things. Sometimes they don't realize what should have come first, until it's too late.
In Season 19, Kenny has to work his fingertips to the bone merely to receive a child labor wage. But he uses his measly paycheck to purchase the lonely Karen a doll.
Wow.
Karen lights up at the sight of her new plaything. And although Kenny isn't the easiest character to read, we can tell that his sister's happiness is all the reward he needed. It's a simple moment that speaks volumes about who Kenny truly is underneath the hood.
Hi.
Number 5. Kip Drordy.
There's really people out there without a Facebook friend in the world? That's so wrong.
Poor Kip Drordy spends his days periodically checking his Facebook page, hoping someone will be his friend. Out of pity, Kyle adds Kip as a friend, hoping to make him feel a little better. Through the unfortunate reality of social hierarchy, Kyle starts losing Facebook friends for his act of goodwill.
Looking around Facebook today, we see that since adding loser Kip Doherty as a friend, Kyle Broflovsky's stock is plummeting.
He jumps ship to save his own reputation, which leaves Kip more depressed than ever. The episode builds to a joyous resolution, however, when Kip receives all 845,323 friends from Stan's deleted Sentient profile, whom he defeated from inside the Facebook matrix in a Tron-like battle for survival. Number 4. Blanket. At first, Stone and Parker were against doing a Michael Jackson episode, seeing as how the controversial pop star is an overused target for satire. The creators came around to the idea, however, when they decided to make Jackson's youngest son Blanket the focus.
My name's Blanket.
Your name is Blanket. Right, well, Blanket, I'm Howdy Doody, and these are my friends Timsy, Winky, and Nut.
Suddenly, the episode had more heart. And what's more touching, Kyle becomes something of a big brother towards Blanket in Michael Jackson's absence.
All right, this is gonna sting for a second.
Ow!
I know, be cool.
Thank you, that already feels better.
Kyle realizes just how neglected and alone Blanket is, telling Mr. Jefferson that he needs to stop acting like a child and take care of his own children.
Let's say it's all made up, and Mr. Jefferson is just a nice guy who's trying to be a child because he never got to have a childhood. Well, that's fine, except for that he has children now. And when people have children, they have to grow up.
The episode is made even more poignant when you consider that a few plot points were taken out of real life, like Blanket's artificially inseminated birth and how Jackson made his kids wear masks in public.
My daddy says it's best for me to hide my face.
Number 3. Mysterion, the Guardian Angel. The first episode that really touches upon Kenny's relationship with Karen comes at the end of season 15, when the McCormick kids wind up in a cruel foster home.
Welcome to your new home. Before we show you around, let's get one thing clear. This is a very strict religious household.
Kenny can only do so much to help a scared, confused sister, but his alter ego Mysterion can do more.
Karen McCormick is off limits.
Taking on his superhero persona, Kenny visits Karen at night, reassuring her that she's not alone and that everything will be okay.
You are not alone. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, I will always be here.
Though Mysterion is generally the conduit for Kenny's darker side, in this moment, Mysterion reveals a more loving and gentle brother who will do anything to protect his loved ones. Just as Batman is Bruce Wayne's mask, Mysterion allows Kenny to express what he's truly feeling. Number 2. Beautiful Sadness. Although the other kids frequently poke fun at Butters for his innocence and naivety, sometimes his sincerity can rub off on them.
Go ahead and go. It's best we don't say anything more. There's nothing left to say. It's over. Our relationship is over.
After getting dumped by his so-called girlfriend, Butters is left whimpering in the rain. Stan and his fellow goth kids thus invite Butters to join them, but he turns them down, saying there's still more to life than just pain. Just because Butters is heartbroken doesn't mean that he himself is broken. If anything, the sadness makes him appreciate life more.
Well, yeah, and I'm sad. But at the same time, I'm really happy that something can make me feel that sad. It's like, it makes me feel alive, you know?
Moved by this touching point of view, Stan realizes that it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, and ditches the goth kids.
He's right. I don't even know who I am anymore. I like liking life a lot more than hating it. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
It's a life-affirming moment, reminding us that sadness is an integral part of the human experience.
So I have to take the bad with the good. So I guess what I'm feeling is like a beautiful sadness.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Kenny's sacrifice. Though we can never quite understand what he's saying, Kenny is often the voice of reason and virtue in South Park, and this is best exemplified in their feature film. After helping a heartbroken Satan see the light, Kenny is granted one wish.
You showed me that I had to get away from him. Just make any wish you want, and I shall grant it.
Rather than asking to be resurrected, Kenny wishes for everything on Earth to go back to the way it was.
He said that his wish is for everything to go back the way it was before this horrible war.
Kenny, you realize that means you'd go back too.
Before returning to hell, however, he reveals his face and speaks clearly for the first time, bidding his friends farewell.
Goodbye, you guys.
He then disappears, and we next see him flying up to heaven, his sacrifice rewarded, leaving everyone in the theater choked up. This ending elevated South Park into new territory. proving it's much more than a foul-mouthed cartoon. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.